Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today is June 22nd. Oh, my sister's birthday is in a couple of days. So June 22nd, 2022. Welcome. So today we're going to talk about how you can use land investing to quit your job. Who better to talk about that subject than someone who actually did that? Quit his job and now use land investing to pay the bills. However, there are a lot of things that you need to consider before you quit. So I don't even know if I have enough time to talk about all of this. So I'm going to give you a bit of background and everything. But before I begin all that, make sure you guys can hear me, see me okay. I always want to make sure things are okay. And let me know, hey, if you can hear, see me okay, drop something in the comments. If you're watching a replay, let me know, drop something in the comments. I'll read every single one. Every question you have, if I don't answer it live, I do come back and answer it after the fact. So if you have a question or a comment, please let them go. I love to talk to you guys. I love to converse with you guys. That's why I'm here. I appreciate everybody who's listening or watching this because I do understand this is a topic a lot of people are interested in. Now, a lot of things I talk about for quitting your job may not necessarily be just for land investing, but it can apply to anything that you're going to do outside of a regular 9-to-5 as a salaried employee. Let me give you a little story first about how I quit my job. This was in 2018. Actually, I'll take it back. I'll go a little bit further than that. In 2017, I was actually working at a pretty cool company. It's a small company full of industry vets. They were in Silicon Valley, and they've made games since the arcade days of the Atari, not just, Frogger and all that. I'm talking about like in the 90s when they're making like Hydro Thunder and things like that. San Francisco Rush, games of that era. So the mid to late 90s. And these are professionals that just been around the game industry and they were really good at what they did. Their company got smaller and smaller and smaller. Maybe the business wasn't run as well. They do engineering. I don't know. I'm not making an assumption either way. I really don't know. I just know that by the time I joined, I was like one of like maybe 8 employees. And while I was there, I was making this long commute every day to get there. Now, I love working with these guys, but they just weren't paying me as much as I could be making at another company. So even though I love the work, I love the freedom they gave me, I love just how much I was learning, I got lured away to work at Warner Brothers. Yeah, the Warner Brothers here in San Francisco, making games for the mobile phone. And they paid much better, but the work atmosphere sucked. Now, a lot of these guys came from different companies, and some of them came as a group. So I won't name any companies, but they came as a group and they came from a bigger company that did a lot of mobile games. And so they formed a clique. I mean, it's natural, right? You have friends from other places. You guys move together. Of course, you're going to be friends. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it seemed to be that clique started to gain a little bit of power. Some of those guys start to move up because they were there the longest. Again, no harm, no foul so far. But office politics start to play. And certain things that just got on my nerve. Now, I don't know can you relate to this where you feel like you got to bust your hat? Oh, appreciate that. Let me know, Elizabeth. You got to bust your ass every day. And you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Or maybe in your job, you are working so hard that your new family, you have, young kids, new wife, etc., are not seeing you as much as you want them to. So sure, you're providing, you're bringing home money, this and that, but you don't have any time to enjoy that money. And then when you are home, you're so focused on what you got to do for work the next day or just that project or whatever you're doing. You're kind of like, you're always stressed. Let me know, have you been in that situation before? Because I have, and it sucks. Now, you add that with the office politics and just working on something you don't want to work on. You're not getting along with your manager for reasons I think are, in my opinion, are valid for not getting along with somebody. Still professional, but you can tell. Pat understands. And after a while, you can tell they're trying to get you out of the place, or at least out of their team or whatever. Little things that are not a big deal, all of a sudden are blown up into be a big deal. And you're like, I'm not in 6th grade anymore, but I feel like going to school, you're and fighting a kid, So one day, I just had enough. Me and my manager were going at it. Again, we're not yelling, screaming. We ain't moving furniture around, nothing like that. But I'm like pacing around. I'm real frustrated. Like, you know what? you know what? I'm out. I'm leaving. He's like, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a little reckless. I'm like, no. He goes, well, why don't you take a weekend to think about it? I'm like, all right. I'll go home and talk to my wife. I thought my wife would be like, no, you got to stay. We need the money, blah, blah. She's like, no, quit. Fuck them. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to quit. Now, here's the thing. I didn't have a plan. I was frustrated. I quit on impulse. Never, ever quit on impulse. I haven't got to the part where we talk about what to do yet, but never quit on impulse. I quit on impulse. I didn't have a plan. And guess what? In that plan, I was actually going to not do land investing because I wasn't very smart. Some of you guys already kind of know part of the story. I come back on Monday. I write my letter of resignation. And then that was it. I kind of write out the last 2 weeks. During that 2 weeks, I actually hired a new guy. And the next thing you know, I'm gone. Karina says it happens when you're not taking care of oneself. Oh, I was not taking care of myself 100%. We become passive aggressive, then we explode. Mad at self for not figuring our firing our 9 to 5, no plan. Yeah, no, that's me in a nutshell. Now, there was a lot of turnover at that company, so I will not take all the blame there. But obviously, you control what you can control, and that's my actions, how I look at things like that. And I didn't do a very good job of that. So here's the thing. When I quit, I thought I was going to be a millionaire from the internet marketing, being an affiliate marketer. Oh, it's so easy. All I got to do is just hang back, throw out some ads, boom, 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 I'm good. Because I saved up some money, I'm like, oh, I got this. I wrote a book, and I poured my heart and soul into the book. It actually felt good to do that. The book is still available on Amazon. It's called Get Off the Bench. But I wasn't making any money. So now you guys already know about the deaths that happened in my family during this time, so I don't have to go back into that. But next thing you know, I'm broke. I learned a lot doing that. And then as I tried to start land investing again from a broke place, I learned some more. So before you quit, here's some things you can learn. All right. So this is what we're going to talk about what to do. Listen, a lot of times when people tell you to quit, it's often incomplete information. I'm not going to be able to give you everything I can from my own experience, but I'm going to give you all that I can. I'm going to try to do my best. Now, in general, you guys heard my story, but a lot of people, why do people quit their jobs? Like the biggest reason, dissatisfied with their role. And that could be because they're being underappreciated, or they're overworked, or they're just bored, whatever it is, they're dissatisfied with the role. That's the biggest reason why people quit. The second biggest reason, and it's like a hair under that first reason, they got passed over for promotion they rightly deserved. Again, office politics. You didn't play buddy-buddy with your manager or whatever. And, being likable is important. Believe it, like it or not, it is. But if you work by yourself, it don't matter if you're likable. I mean, you still got to make people like you if you're doing business with them, but that's a different story. The next greatest reason why people quit, they're not satisfied with their career path. They don't see the potential or where they're headed. They don't want to go, so they quit. And then the final reason people quit, they're dissatisfied with their manager or their direct supervisor. Now, a lot of you guys, like how many of you guys can relate to any of those four? You're dissatisfied with your current position. Maybe you got passed over for promotion. You're not satisfied with your current career path, or your manager or your direct supervisor ass. Any of you guys can relate. Put it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. Angela says, I quit my job and divorced my husband at the same time. Wow, that's a lot of change. I totally said F everybody and everything, and then working on my nerves. Yeah, I hear you. I did the same thing. Hey, man, these jobs, this is why a lot of people are talking about the great resignation out there. It's not because it's not a lot of work. It's a lot of people are realizing I don't got to put up with bullshit, especially if my health is going to be in danger. Even if you're not a big person, like, hey, I'm not worried about COVID, this and that. There is a perspective that we are starting to see that like life is more than just waking up early, going to work, going home, watching Netflix, getting drunk, getting fat, and then doing it all over again. Right? Life is a lot more than that. So a lot of people don't want to do something that's not fulfilling. And if you're doing something that's not fulfilling, you don't want to spend 40 hours a week doing so. Maybe doing something unfulfilling 20 hours a week is fine. So now you have a lot more time to be with your family, to volunteer, to do nothing, whatever it is, right? We all got something. Right? I actually love what I do. It simply doesn't pay enough for my lifestyle. Well, Chelsea, maybe land investing can actually supplement what you do. You are living partial to the dream, because I used to love making video games myself. So I just didn't love how the industry works. So I was kind of in a crossroads. If you love what you're doing, doesn't pay enough, perhaps investing what money you do get from your income can actually help. And we're actually going to jump into that right now. Elizabeth does not like my current job. Join the club. Join the club. All right. So in my estimation, there are 5 things you're going to need before you quit your job. All right. So number 1, the right mindset. Number 2, the right business model. Number 3, the right daily habits. Number 4, the right skills. And number 5, the right logistics. I'm going to go into all 5 of these things and how they relate to land investing. Again, these things that I mentioned, notice I didn't say you need to have the right county or the right letter. No. No matter what you're going to do, you have to have these 5 things taken care of. You're going to look to quit your job. All right, let's go into the first one, the right mindset. This one is probably the biggest one. This is why it's number 1. You got to stop thinking like an employee. Now, you got to keep it real with yourself. We've been trained to be employees since we were kids. If you think about the path that you've taken, if you've done traditional education, even if you stopped at high school, it is the same thing. You get up, someone tells you to go to school, you're at school, they tell you what to do, what to think and all that. You get breaks. And when they tell you you could have breaks, you're there for 6 to 8 hours and then you go home and then you do it all over again. Now at school, at kids, we get some recesses. As you get older, you get, you have crushes on people. So, you're worried about dating in your high school, in your social life, and your maybe extracurricular clubs and sports, things like that. That kind of takes the things away. But that's not much different. A lot of us do now at a regular job. Like we have our extracurricular activities. Maybe they're part of a club, like an adult league, or maybe you do them solo, right? You have your social life, you're dating, you're on Tinder, just swiping left and right. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. We're trained to do that. When we're working, it's the same thing. It's also why when people give us, commands and instruction from a place of authority, we tend to listen to them, whether the information is good or not. Now, if it's not good, you may say something under your breath, but you don't do nothing because you don't want to rock the boat. You need that money and you don't know what to do with yourself. When you're trying to transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur, it's tough because you don't have anybody telling you to get up. You don't say, hey, man, if you don't get this done, you're going to be in trouble. What happens is you get in trouble by not making any money. Now you're homeless or you're broke or you're starving or whatever it is. A lot of times we're looking for permission to get started on our letter campaign. I need someone to check this over. I got to make sure I do it right. I got to do more research. That's employee thinking. You're waiting for somebody else to give you permission to take action. As an entrepreneur, a land investor in particular, you're going to make mistakes. See, as a student and an employee, mistakes are bad, 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 bad. So it's quote unquote cheating. As an entrepreneur, mistakes are good. The quickest way you learn. So it's quote unquote cheating, as in looking at somebody else's work and copying what they do. That is how you get ahead. We've been trained not to do that, and breaking that habit is extremely difficult. All right. So you also got to do things to stop distracting yourself as well. Because school sucks and work sucks, maybe not always, maybe you have time, fun or whatever, but there's always times you're looking for a distraction. You can't necessarily do that as an entrepreneur. I mean, you'll have your time to relax and it's going to be a lot more than you realize. However, it's so easy to get distracted and caught up in stupid stuff that you don't stay on the ball. You don't stay on the ball. So you got to make sure you stop with the employee thinking. You know what I mean? I actually love it. Yeah. So moving on. That's number 1. No more employee thinking. This is going to be the toughest thing to transition from, but you'll be able to get it. Now, what does that mean real quick before we move on for land investing? Well, every day you got to be making sure you're getting out offers and you're marketing the properties that you have. Sounds simple, isn't it? Because it is. The issue is a lot of people aren't doing it. They're not getting out letters. They're not sending out text messages, and they're not following up with people. Say, yeah, I want to sell, but I got to look into this. I got to look into that. Or you have to look into this and that to make sure that it's a good investment. So every day you got to be doing something. Now, the beautiful thing is this doesn't take a ton of time. The follow-up, the making offers, things like that, maybe an hour of your day, if that. Some days are going to be a little bit more time intensive than others, but it averages out to an hour or so. Yeah, actually, that's not true. About 30 minutes or so, depending on how long it takes to follow up with people and things like that. As you're doing due diligence with people or on properties, that'll take a little bit more time too. It's different. It's real different. All right. Now, number 2, this is the second thing you're going to need, the right business model. We're picking land investing. And because that's what I did. I tried other ways. I tried to, be a salesperson. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried all these other things. And I like Land the Best because it doesn't take as much as my time, but you're going to need capital. You can't do this business without any money. Sure, you can start small, but you don't actually get the option of staying small. The good news is you take $300, $400, $500, you got to work your ass off. But once you get that deal for that amount of money, you sell for about $1,500 to $2,000, $2,500, maybe even more. Now you have money to play with. But in this business model, you got to understand that $2,500 isn't just going in your pocket. You got taxes that you got to pay. You got to set aside money for taxes, usually around 15% or so. You also got expenses to, keep the lights on. In this case, sending out offers or your phone line or your internet connection or whatever it is. So you got things like that to worry about. So that $2,500 or that $3,000, it doesn't go as far as you think. And then also, guess what? You got to pay your rent. You got to pay your utilities. You got to buy food for yourself. You got to make sure that you have clothes on your back. You have food on the table, all those things. So before you quit, understand that this business model, you cannot start from zero. Now, if you have a spouse that can support you during that time, great. Then you can, you have a little bit more leeway. But in general, you can't quit. So you got to start doing these things before you quit. Good news is, someone who started doing this in 2016, I didn't quit till 2018. I actually built up a lot of good habits and a lot of systems so I can do my work and invest in land. So by the time I was doing this full time myself, there's a lot less things I had to do daily because I had systems in place. Some systems were done on the computer, meaning it was a machine doing it. Others were just a organized way or a way to keep myself organized so I don't get lost in the confusion or the shuffle of the day to day. So far, so good. Are we liking this? Is this making any sense? Let me know. I'm making sure we're good. Because again, if you want to do this right, do not make the mistakes that I did, because I stopped doing the things that counted and my income suffered. Now, going back to the right business model, when you do this wrong, your money flow stops. All the momentum stops. So if you don't have no money coming in, it's going to be hard to buy property. If you can't buy property, you're not going to be making more money. If you're not making any money, again, how are you going to pay bills? How are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to put clothes on your back? So you got to make sure you keep doing this and you do it right. But you need to have a head start with your job. Have your current job, even whether you love it or you hate it, be that initial source of funding to get you that first piece of property. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument, you actually buy a property for $3,000 and you sell it for 10. Now you have a runway, because let's be honest, a lot of things that we have, we don't necessarily need to live. We don't need Netflix to live. We don't even need television. We need food, water, electricity, so you have heat and light and stuff like that, and an internet connection. That is all you really need. And shelter, of course, shelter, right? You don't need anything else. And if we strip down to the bare essentials, you will realize that you don't need to spend as much money as you do. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so we're going to move on to the third point. So 3 is the right daily habits. So I start to talk about this a little bit, right? But this is more than just getting out the mailing and marketing. As an entrepreneur, again, you're not an employee. An employee is you get treated like a machine. Hey, do this every day, boom, boom, boom. If we like what you do after a couple of years, we'll give you a different task to do, but you got to do it every day, boom, boom, boom. Machine-like. Don't get sick. Don't have a family. Don't have family emergencies. Don't need breaks. None of that. No. We don't play that here. We need you to be a machine. As an entrepreneur, you don't have those pressures, but it's very easy to get caught up in old ways of thinking, old ways of doing things. Don't worry, you will have vacation time, you'll have rest time, you'll have all that. But every day, besides the mailing and marketing, guess what you should be doing? You should be reading something, improving your mind. These are the things that's going to help you do better in your business. This is not just to kill time, because unlike your job or you're a machine, you got to do things day in and day out or take care of people, whatever it is, you should be elevating. And unlike your job, the better you perform, again, unless you're in sales, the more money you're going to make and the less time you are going to need to make said money. This is why every day it's going to be a constant battle with your emotions and your mind to stay focused. Even though I've been doing this for a few years now, I still battle with my schedule. I still battle with my emotions. Sometimes I don't feel like doing stuff. Sometimes I feel like I'm never going to win. Sometimes I feel like I'm just angry and I just don't know what to do and I'm overly stressed. But then you got to work anyways. And then when you do, you realize, damn, I was being a little unreasonable earlier today. How silly of me. But when you're doing that and you are actually reading every day and you're doing affirmations and other things that are just helping you become the best you that you can be, even when you're battling yourself on how to get stuff done, you will win. If you're not doing those things, that's when those negative thoughts take over. And that's when you have to like, damn, maybe I should go back to my job. Damn, I'm not good at anything. I can't do nothing right. This is never going to work for me. I can't believe I could, that's when those thoughts come up. You can't let that happen. So in land, it's very easy to go that way because if one piece of property you have, it may not sell right away. You may start to question, well, did I do the research right? Did I overpay for this? Does this area just suck? This area sucks. It can't be me. No. You read every day. You keep improving your skills every day and you do the daily action every day. The sales and the acquisition will take care of themselves. The networking will start to happen. And that's going to help you actually learn new things, get other people's money involved in your investing and other things that's going to help you do what you do best. But again, it's going to be a daily battle. And if you're not doing the things that's going to help you improve yourself every day, you're going to lose that battle. Okay. Korean, beautiful. I appreciate it. It is important to set systems in place. 100%. You got to have systems because if you don't have systems, here's the thing. This is a good quote. I wrote it down. I don't know where it is. More information will not help you quit your job or escape your current financial issue or problem. Systems will. So when you're buying information, quote unquote, you're just going to be in the same spot. Now you just got another audiobook or another book on the shelf or another program collecting dust, virtual dust on your hard drive or on somebody's website. But when you buy into systems and you just plug into that and start using them, now the money will come because it is literally a little machine printing money for you. You got to power that machine, but it is a machine there nonetheless that you can take advantage of to print money for you. Information alone does nothing. It will allow you to help you build your own little money machine, AKA systems, but without it, it's nothing. So you need more. You need more. All right. Number 4, the right skills. So this can be copywriting, sales, marketing, building a business, whatever it is, right? Now, as land investors, people don't realize this, but you're going to need the trifecta, what I call a trifecta. These are important in every single business, no matter what you do. Copywriting, sales, marketing. These are the things that help you make money. Obviously, with land investor, you also got, the acquisition side where you're comping areas, doing research, all that. But everything on the acquisition side and the sales side all need copywriting, sales, and marketing. What's copywriting? Well, that is the art of selling through the written word. Well, what do you mean selling through the written word? Well, all the different things that you read that entices you to do something, that puts an idea in your head, that makes you want to take action, that get you excited or get you frustrated or get you mad or get you to feel something so you do something. That's copywriting. Now, we're more familiar with it from ads, but you can use copywriting in your emails at your current job to get people to get off their lazy asses and get something done, and not on their time, but on your time. You can use copywriting to help your family do things because they're inspired or whatever it is, right? When you land, when you're sending out offers, if you have bad copy on your offer letter, your postcard, or whatever, no one's going to read it. They're going to throw it away. They're going to think it's more like spam mail. However, when you have something that's compelling, people will read it and most likely want to take action based on what they've read. Same thing when you're selling your property. People will read your ad. They're going to want to take action. That action could be giving you a call, giving you a text, sending you an email saying, hey, I'm interested. That's what good ad copy does. On the acquisition side, it could be like, let me call this guy up. Maybe I do want to sell my property. That's what good copywriting does. Marketing is the same thing. Understanding how you can go out and reach people when you're trying to acquire more property. How can I reach more people that's looking to sell? People who don't know I exist. I don't know that they exist besides the name on the list. What can I do to make them know that I'm here, I'm trustworthy, and doing business with me is going to be a pleasurable experience for them? Same thing with the sales. People don't know who I am. I got property. I know that they want it. How do I reach the people who will want the property that I have? How do I speak to them in a way that says, hey, I'm just like you. You should trust me. I have what you need, and I have it at a price that you can afford. Same thing with sales. You're on the phone with them, whether you're looking to negotiate the price lower to buy it or to get a good price to sell it, then you are doing good sales. That is sales, right? You need those skills. If you don't have those skills, develop them now while you're working. How you develop them? Yes, you could read a book, you could take a course. Those are all good options. But the best way is to apply and practice. Like apply what you're learning with now, right? Look at your offer letter. Do this right now. Or your offer postcard. Give it to somebody who doesn't have land, or maybe they do have land. Say, read this. Like, well, if you read this, what would you think? See what they say. Non-biased, someone that just get their opinion, right? Not someone that's going to say things that be nice to you. Just get their opinion. That will give you a clue to how well you're doing. Read it yourself. Hey, will this entice me if I got this letter to take action? Now, you may be really hard on yourself, so using yourself may not be the best thing, but if you have nobody else, you have no friends, you have to do that, right? Once you start to identify the skills that you have or how you can get better, or the skills you need to get better at, hone those skills. Again, copywriting, marketing, and sales, you hone those three, you don't got to worry about due diligence. You ain't got to worry about doing the comps. You ain't got to worry about any of that, because those things will take care of themselves. You'll be so good to make people, take action. You could be like at the bare minimum for the other land investing parts, but the sales, the marketing, and the copywriting is on point. You're going to make a lot of money, a ton of money. This is how it works, right? This is why it's very important. I teach these a lot. I don't necessarily say this is copywriting. No, I teach it in subtle ways that kind of absorb the brain. Now, the final thing, the right logistics. Real quick, before I go to the final thing, let me see what y'all are saying. Yes, let's see. You can be KPI with more money, most skill, abilities, experience worth your money. Bring this to the table. Contracting for land, real estate, all business aspects, or no money. Write yourself to the contract for your skills. Okay, I see you. I see you in here, Karina. Giving that hot fire, dropping bars up in here. Anyways, 5, the right logistics. So this is what this means. Before you can quit, you need the right logistics. You need to know, how much do you spend every month right now as it is as a regular salaried employee? How much of it is vital stuff like food, healthcare, water, utilities, rent, all that? And how much is it frivolous, like, Netflix, going out, eating out, buying clothes that you don't really need at the moment, things like that. Vacations. Yeah, I'm not trying to say don't go on vacations, but, just get a track of your spending. You got to do this for a couple months, because some months are outliers. Other months are a little bit more, some months a little lower than normal, some months a little higher than normal. Do it for a couple of months to really get a good track on your spending. Use an app like Mint, or you can use a good old fashioned spreadsheet. That'll work too. Now, once you understand that, you can understand how much you need to bring in every month. Don't just look at your current paycheck, because early on, you're not going to be making as, I guess it depends on your job, but in general, for most of the people in this, where a lot of us are salaried employees, we make pretty good money. Some of us are in golden handcuffs. You're not going to make as much money in land when you jump out of the gate as you will with your salary, your starting salary. So you got to understand what's important and what's not. And you can't use your salary as a base unless you're, you really want to wait for a long time before you quit. Once you understand, you have your spending track, you understand what's important, you can make adjustments. Now you have an income goal. Because like, okay, this is how much I need to live, right? Not for fun, not my current lifestyle, just to live. How much is that? All right. Now, if I want to have the lifestyle I have now, but with land, how much do I need there? That's going to help you understand, okay, if I need, let's just say for the sake of argument, $10,000 take home in my pocket, right? After taxes. It's a lot of money every month. In fact, let's do 5,000. Let's make it more realistic. 5,000 take home every month, right? After taxes. Still a good amount of money, especially where you live, but San Francisco is not that much. How many land deals will you need for that? Well, and depending on the area, it could be one land deal, buying something for about $1,500, $2,000, or it could be several land deals, depending on where you are. How much money will you need, and how long will it take to make those sales? Think about those logistics, especially with your current skill set. Now, of course, you're going to be getting better as time goes on, but it is what it is. understanding like, okay, when are bills due? Do I have a cushion? Do I not have a cushion? How much do I have to invest versus how much do I have for bills? Things like that. You got to start to understand those logistics. Understand how you're going to get your healthcare taken care of. If you have a spouse that's working, maybe you can just jump on their insurance plan. If not, look at your state. Your different states have different things. Like California, have to cover California. They got some affordable options that you can do. So every state's different. See what's available for you. Or you can go with no insurance. I don't recommend it, especially if you get sick or if you get in an accident, then you're screwed. Also, you want to set money aside for taxes. All these things you got to have the logistics for. So you understand what you're getting into. A lot of times people make the mistake. They look at what they make from a sale. They don't realize that all that money should not go in their pocket. That they should pay tax or set aside something for taxes. They got to pay for food. They got to pay for all these things. So then at the end of the sale, they're only left with a small amount. Now, there's a formula I have to give the people I coach. It is 2x plus 500. What is 2x plus 500? 2 times your expenses plus an extra $500 will get you at a place where you're making more and more money each month in land investing if you invest all of that. So 2 times your expenses. Let's say every month I need to spend, let's just say to run the business $1,000, right? If I get 2,000, so 2,500, and I invest that 2,500 can get me a property that's worth 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, right? I'll have that. I'll have the money I need to pay the bills, pay all the, pay myself, feed myself, all that, and then have enough more left over and then some to invest in better and better properties, or maybe more of the same type of property that I just bought. That's why I like 2x plus 500. That extra 500 is a little bit of leeway just in case. Okay. Now, once you have all these things in place, you can confidently go to your boss, have your resignation letter in hand, and tell them to shove it, because you will be ready to quit. Now, to recap, you need the right mindset. You need the right business model, which is land investing. It's the right model. You can't start it from scratch, but once you get it going. Number 3, the right daily habits. So not just emailing and marketing, but improving yourself so you get better with your sales and marketing and your personal development, things like that. You need the right skills, sales, copywriting, marketing, and you need the right logistics, knowing how much money you need to live versus how much you want to live on versus how much you need to, have taxes and all that stuff. You have those 5 things. I promise you'll be able to quit your job with confidence. Guaranteed. I didn't have those things. I didn't discover these things until I was going through it and being broken, angry, and frustrated. Smelling like cocoa butter and frustration. All right. Got to make sure you have those 5 things if you're looking to quit. If you're not there yet, that's fine. You can still build up the skills as you're working. Your current job is your first investor in you and in your investment business. So you got to make sure you do that. Now, if you are looking to set yourself free forever and you're ready to get on this journey, hit me up. I'll be glad to help make a game plan for you. So what area to invest in, how many offers to get out there per month, how much you're going to need to get to a certain dollar amount. And if you have a smaller amount, how long it's going to take you. All the things that you're going to need to start putting your plan in place. Not a general plan, a customized plan for you. So if you're interested in that, give me a shout in the comments. I'll hit you up in the DMs. I can let you know. We can schedule a call. We can figure that out. But do I have any questions? I think we are good. I appreciate everybody who showed up. I appreciate all you guys for watching this live or whether you're watching a replay. But yeah, man, quitting with confidence is not going to be easy. Quitting with confidence cannot just happen on a whim. You have to be ready. The 5 things I mentioned will get you ready, but it's going to be up to you to actually do those things. All right. So hopefully you guys found that useful. We'll be back next week. I can get something more concrete with like nuts and bolts of land investing. Oh yeah. And one more thing. These live streams are stuff that I kind of poll you guys to see what you guys want me to talk about. So if you have a topic or something that I haven't covered yet, let me know. Hell, if it is something I cover, but maybe you want me to cover it a little bit differently, that can work too. If you have not seen my training, my escape velocity method training in land investing, let me know. I'll shoot you a link for that because that will actually cover a lot of the basic things that people are asking about. And that way you can watch it on your own time. And there's actual actionable steps at the end of that training to make sure that you can actually take what you've learned and use it ASAP. and actually find your first deal. All right. Other than that, hopefully you guys have a good one. I appreciate your time. I went a little bit over, about 5 minutes over. But yeah, man, this was fun. I love talking about this stuff. So if you have any questions, reach out. But until then, peace.